So Kate, it's day 3 and it's really hot. I'm going to ask you, what questions did today raise for you?
Okay, well, I was really looking forward to today. It was looking at art and art as activism and art as the political. And yeah, it raised loads of questions, I think. The one thing that stuck in my mind, because it's something that I'm working with anyway, was the sort of art that's done sort of with and beside refugees. And there was a really interesting discussion about how most art where refugees are involved is actually where they are the sort of object of that piece of art, and they're not involved in it. And very often they're depicted in either their beds, or if they're Syrian, they tend to be depicted in a queue of some kind, and that's how we see refugees, whether that's through art, whether that's through the media. So there's a really interesting project which kind of flipped this around, where refugees took control of their own art projects and actually interviewed journalists in their own beds, and you can see how that art of that kind immediately builds empathy and can get people saying, actually, how would I feel if this was someone saying, I'm going to come and interview you in your bed? And interestingly, the journalists that were involved that actually did the works of art with the refugees in the first place wouldn't be involved in that, which speaks volumes. So I'm really interested in the way that we can work beside and with people to create things that are political, that are thought-provoking, and that give the space in terms of where there's a gap, where there is no vocabulary for people to talk about the stuff that's going on, because there's this idea that we don't have the words to describe what's happening now, so art fills that gap. So I think there's lots of ideas buzzing around my head at the moment about how we could possibly use art, maybe poetry, which is the thing I'm possibly most interested in, but whatever platforms people want to use to engage and challenge and get people thinking about new possibilities, and to think as if, you know, things were different. How about you?
Yeah, a few quick things. On that language thing, that really hit home today, that we do not have a lexicon to describe the way the world needs to change. We only have words, concepts, frameworks, metaphors that are connected to what's already gone. I was really interested that one of the pieces of refugee art actually resulted in the people involved in that co-creating a dictionary of words and phrases that were important to them, and I'd like to do that, I think. The other thing was in terms of the question, how can we be otherwise, ourselves otherwise, and how can we connect with people? Really interested in the facilitation today, and it's made me think about how we could perhaps use the same stimulus, which was the Love Machines film, which is very challenging, very sort of you know, really dense, how we can use that to with a community, as a community philosophy inquiry, to explore some of these themes of the post-human. That the art is not such an easy way into me, but I get it. I get this sort of bridging the gap, so I know this is something that I definitely want to do more thinking about. But I also know that for myself, having the opportunity of the film to be able to think through some of the key concepts of post-human was really valuable today.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you.
see you tomorrow.